Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by contribution from Sarah, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Hope you're doing well. I'm currently watching your channel, and as usual, it triggers a few memories. One of the memories I have is a story I told my family during Thanksgiving dinner one year about a time we were bombed while serving over in Iraq. It was Thanksgiving of 2009, and I was home on leave for the holidays with an ex who was also in the military at the time. We had met while in Iraq. We had we were all eating dinner, and my brother and I were kind of taunting each other over the branches in which we served, all innocent fun. He was in the Marines, and I was in the Air Force. He would always say I was in the Chair Force, and I always would tell him he was just too stupid to join the Air Force, so he had no choice but to join the Marines. The conversation then turned a bit more serious once my mother and brother's wife decided to chime in on the topic of which branch was better. Neither had served in the military. They both said being a Marine was much more noble than being in the Air Force because they actually risked their lives on a daily basis and died for our country. Whereas I only went to Iraq, and it was there I had learned to color in between the lines in the coloring books. I became defensive and told them just because I wasn't riding around in Humvees and fighting on the front line doesn't mean it wasn't dangerous for me. I told them we were bombed plenty of times on base while I was there. They both rolled their eyes and scoffed and said, "Yeah, right." I said, "It's true." And my ex said, "Yeah, actually, it's very true." Then I told him I was part of the PAR team where we swept the areas following an attack to search for any live bombs or body parts, down personnel, etc. I told them how it we were I told them how we were bombed 3 times in the middle of the night around 3 a.m. I was awake inside the gym that night when it happened. It shook the entire building. When it happened, my first thought was someone threw some weights down and it shook the building. We were in trailers. I looked over at my supervisor in slow motion kind of way, both of us looking at each other like, what the fuck was that? Then he yells, "Get down, get your gear." And we were attacked again with another bomb. I crawled into the back office and grabbed my gear while hiding under a desk. When I got to this part of the story while telling my family, my mother and brother's wife both fell over laughing and proceeded to mock me while talking like they were mentally challenged, saying, "Ooh, I'm in the Air Force. I think we're getting bombed." I had to run and hide like a pussy. Then my brother started laughing. I just got really quiet and tried not to cry. I didn't finish my food and got up from the table. I walked out of the house and could still hear them inside laughing hysterically about it. I have not talked about Iraq since. I hate when people thank me for my service because I don't feel like I was worthy of anything anyways. And since I didn't die for our country, my job was pretty much pointless. Well, I guarantee you if that bomb had hit and killed you, they'd be sucking up all the fucking pity though, won't they? Won't they? I also guarantee when you're not around, your mother was bragging about how you were serving in Iraq. I guarantee it. My brother and I were both in Iraq at the same time, just different parts. My mom would send him care packages once a week. Even had my aunt's third grade class, she was the teacher, all write him letters. She flew to California to see him off and flew back out there again when he came back. Did she do any of this for me? Nope, not one letter, not one package, nothing. Because in her words, I was just in the Air Force and all we did was colored all day. Another random memory I had was from the time my mom made me move to Oklahoma when I was 17 years old to go live with my aunt and uncle in her attempts to keep me from the ex, the one she accused of molesting my sister. Well, that first weekend after moving there, my aunt said she had a surprise for me. She said she set up a makeup makeover at the mall to make me look pretty and boost my confidence. I sometimes think she had good intentions, but it really still hurt my feelings. She told me I needed to wear makeup to look pretty, and I needed to practice smiling in the mirror. To this day, I don't wear makeup, sometimes some mascara. But back then, I wore eyeliner. She told me black eyeliner was hideous, and she wanted to teach me what real beauty looked like. Of course, the following day, I redid my own makeup, and she took it as an insult, saying she did all that for me only for me to disregard it. Those were the two memories I had. But I want to tell you about this past Monday. My husband called me and told me my dad's truck was in the driveway. So I called my daughter and asked if he was there. I asked how did he get in, and she said she opened the door. I yelled at her because the one rule I have is not opening the door no matter what when an adult is not home. I told her clearly I need to hire a babysitter because she can't seem to follow the rules. Then I told her I'd be coming home soon and hung up. Not 5 seconds later, she was calling me back and said my dad wanted to talk to me. I told her he can call me from his own phone if he wanted to talk. A few seconds later, he was talking. When I answered, he said, "Now what on earth is your problem?" I told him what goes on between me and my kids stays between us. He said, "Well, I am your dad and I am part of this family." I told him no, he wasn't, and neither was his wife. He said, "My wife is your mother and you will refer to her as that." Oh, wow, I know which videos you were watching. I told him no, I wasn't because she wasn't very motherly. Then I told him he needs to call his adopted daughter, Justin, my ex, they thought that they bought the house for, because she's more of a mother to him than she has ever been to me. He yelled at me saying he's sick of hearing that and said, "I'm just so full of hate that I needed mental help because I'm crazy in the head." I told him once I moved that they won't see me or the kids again. The next morning he texted me saying this. Sarah, I want to start off by saying I am sorry for telling you that you need help. I guess what I meant to say is that I don't understand exactly how we got to this point, and I'm just so frustrated. You feel betrayed, and I know why you feel that way. Then why did he say that you needed mental help, huh? But trust me, when I tell you that I never renting renting to Justin would be a big deal, however, I guess I was wrong. Really, you didn't think renting... Wow. Wow, so he's going to plead ignorance. Huh? That being said, your mom and I never intended on hurting you. Right, just like she never intended on hurting her as she's getting bombed in Iraq and everybody laughing at her. Right. We love you and always will. Love is not something we can turn on and off. It's always on. Well, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive us because I didn't realize it would hurt you. I'm sorry. You will always be my favorite middle child. Love, Dad. Wow. There's only one middle child, so gee, thanks. There's a lot in there. There's a lot in. You will always be my favorite middle child. Not your favorite child. Not. I love all. How disgusting. The problem is, I don't know how he can't understand how we got to this point. And I have told him until I was blue in the face that them buying a house for my ex-husband hurt me deeply. His text had me really confused because not once have I ever gotten an apology, making this the first. It's barely an apology. It's not an apology. But I feel it was only because I threatened him with not seeing the kids again once I moved. I never responded to his text, by the way. And then, just last night, my mom made a post on Facebook about the man that was killed on Easter. But the video is of one of his daughters talking about forgiveness and how they forgive the killer for murdering their dad. It's doing the right is the right thing to do. Subliminal messages, not so subliminal, obviously. I just rolled my eyes when I saw it. Of course my ex-husband liked the post. I still break down crying over the entire situation, and almost every time my parents come over or tell me I'm crazy and I need help. I'm sick of crying about it. I feel like I'm always crying over the same thing and I can't seem to move past it. Maybe because I haven't gone no contact yet. I don't know. I'm confused about my dad. I used to think he was my mom's enabler, but now I think he's just an undercover narc himself. How could he just sit there and tell me I'm crazy and need mental help because I am hurt? And I still love my dad, so it's been hard on me trying to accept that he may be a narc too and actually not love me like my mother. I'm very depressed, but I try to be happy. Thank you, Ollie. Have a good weekend. Sarah. This is just another covert narcissist tactic. Your father revealed who he was by calling you crazy. You told him, showed him what the consequences were. And now he pleads ignorance to confuse you. Or maybe, dude, it's obvious in his text message. If he started the day yesterday by telling you you're crazy, and the first line is that he's apologizing for telling you you need help, he knows the reasons why you need help, why you might need help, or why you're angry, which he admits in the next sentence, where he says, "I know why you're angry." But then he says, "Trust me, I didn't know renting to your ex was." Of course he did. Because that's why you're angry. If he knows why you're angry, how does he plead ignorance to renting the house or buying the house? And of course you're confused. It's supposed to be confusing because it's not really an apology. It's an admission to your feelings without any type of allocution to his own shitty behavior. You know what? And his own behavior shows his allocution. And then your mother posting the guy who shot the guy on Easter in the head. Like, you see, their family can forgive. Why can't you? Well, I'll tell you why that's not a goddamn comparison. Because the old man was the one who was shot in the head. He's the one who needs to forgive, not the family. Well, the family has a right to, obviously. You're still alive. Your mother's treating you like you're dead. Again, making it about their feelings, not yours. This guy's dead. He can't state his feelings, so the only person you can go to is the family. They're treating you like you're already dead. You need to cut your father out, and I told you this in the past, Sarah, and your mother. Your father is a covert narcissist. And his text and this behavior proves it. And your parent and your mother's behavior after getting bombed while serving your country in Iraq. I guarantee you, if you were killed, it wouldn't have been coloring. You wouldn't have been coloring. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So, I hope that helps. Thank you again for your contribution. Thank you for another story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, or you'd like to set up a Skype chat, have a private phone call, or have a private video made, or you'd just like to contribute to the channel or sponsor a video for someone who can't afford it, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the final video link to pop up on the screen. That'll take you to my instructional video, which will instruct you on how to do all that. Also, please like this video and share it where you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.